cooking and growing and watching prohibition fall down.
What's up, DGC? It's Scotty hanging out today. Got a couple guests, couple very cool guests. First off, we on a Michigan Matt from Mitten Canna. What's up, brother?
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing today?
I'm sorry, the Mitten Canna Co. Mitten Canna Co, brother.
All good.
And hey, you've been actually using something really cool, and you've actually got it. You're actually trialing something. I want to introduce Eileen from Creatrix Solutions. Yeah,
Hey there, guys.
How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good.
Excellent. Well, where are y'all at, first of all?
I'm in Washington State in the desert part in Kennewick.
There's a desert part of Washington State?
Yeah, the Evergreen State has a desert.
Interesting. Okay, interesting. Hey, we were introduced to you through this Tri-Oxy COMPLETE machine. One of these showed up at the bakery, and I was a bit confused. Thankfully, I've got Guru. What's up, Guru?
What's going on, man?
What's
up, man?
Yeah, what's going on is I was trying to figure out what this is. This is Tri-Oxy COMPLETE. Is this an ozone? What is this, Guru? You tell. Well, I'm sorry. I've got the proprietor. What is the Tri-Oxy COMPLETE?
Well, it's got a 5 gram per hour ozone generator in there.
Okay.
And they didn't make anything that was adjustable, which is important for growers, or very portable. So I basically took an established technology that works and made it easier to use. So it has a handle, it has legs. You basically screw a hose on, screw a hose or a sprayer on the out, and turn it on, turn your water flow on, and it makes instant on-demand ozonated water. And so how it does it, like some fertilizer systems might have a venturi, where when the water flows, it sucks up fertilizer and mixes it in the water.
I've been playing with those,
There's 2 internal venturis in this machine that mix ozone gas in water.
All right, so help me out. Before we get too deep into the tech, it was very interesting. I've actually been playing with a bunch of Venturi injectors myself the last couple of weeks with some sod, so I completely understand what you're saying there. But before I get in, what's the advantage of ozone? Why would I want ozone or use ozone?
Well, dissolved ozone is awesome. It's 3 singlets of oxygen. And in nature, everything is in pairs. And so when there's a 3rd singlet, it breaks off and it oxidizes things. Like the EPA, when there's contaminated groundwater, they actually use giant ozone machines and they inject ozonated water in the groundwater to break down or oxidize different petrochemicals and carbons and heavy metals and purify the water. But that's not the end of the miracle with ozone, especially for like plants. So it's going to, not only, destroy any mold or mildew or anything like that. That oxidation also affects insect larvae, sacs, because that protective membrane, it blows a hole in it. It's technically called cell lysing. And so it'll destroy the insects before they hatch. I mean, if you spray an adult insect with ozone, it'll it's not going to kill them.
Sure.
So you got to, mist early, spray often.
Always since I was a little kid, I remember looking at the rockets back in the day, and they always had fuel and they always had an oxidizer, and I never understood what an oxidizer was. Then I hear like bleach is an oxidizer, and will you help me understand? You seem like the right person to ask, Eileen.
Well, that extra molecule that breaks off is very unstable. So everything is like negative and positive. So when that positive ion breaks off, it pairs with another negative ion. So it actually changes the structure of the other item that it's interacting with. So that other item no longer exists in that current state. So you can actually break down and destroy things. And ozone, the other neat thing about it is because there's published studies that show that 1 molecule of bleach is equal to, 1 molecule of ozone is more pathogenic to all kinds of things than 3,500 to 10,000 molecules of bleach.
Wow.
But, people drink ozonated water and you ask yourself, how in the world, because I can't drink bleach.
Right.
How in the world is that not going to kill me or destroy plants or animals? And the healthy cells have an enzyme coating on them. So if your body has enough oxygen, it maintains this protective cell. And when you don't have enough oxygen, like maybe having a sedentary life or staying indoors, you begin losing enzyme coatings. Then the pathogens, viruses, bacteria, fungus can invade that cell. And so with this ozone, when it's 3 singlets of oxygen, 1 breaks off, what do you have? Pure oxygen. So plants, animals, humans, they get that protective enzyme coating on them so they're less susceptible to infection. And so it's selectively smart. Ozone is a miracle. You don't want to breathe the gas.
Right.
But everything is, either a solid state, liquid state, or gaseous state. When things are in a gaseous state, it's most reactive. So when it's dissolved in water at certain concentrations, it's awesome.
Wow. So,
like, for instance, if we had our faucets where we just turned them on and we had ozonated water flowing out, it would be fabulous because everything has a duration and a part per million that kills it. Like E. coli, 1 part per million, ozonated water kills E. coli in 15 seconds. Now this Tri-Oxy COMPLETE is pumping out 2 to 3 parts per million instead of just 0.1. Listeria, salmonella, all these things that are in our food supply, this is just eradicating it on contact.
And
so that also goes for other diseases that are attacking plants.
There's been a big shift in commercial kitchens in the last 10 years on they're either using ozonated water or electrically oxidized water as they're cleaning to clean all their hard surfaces in commercial kitchens instead of bleach, which is what they used to use. They're moving away to this that is a lot less caustic and harmful and way more effective at what it's trying to do too.
Yeah, I
You
want
can
to
turn that around into the grow as well and start using that as like a cleanup after cycles. For instance, like what we do here is we just add some to a bucket. We use it as our scrub down for our tables. You can spray your walls with it. It's just really good to kind of reset a room before you start getting a new crop within it.
Yeah, and Matt, you're here because you're actually using one of these. You use the Tri-Oxy COMPLETE, the bigger unit. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
How do you use it? Tell me, you're the only guy that's actually using it?
I kind of explained earlier, it's very simple. Just hook up a couple of hoses to it, turn the water source on, and eventually you can start smelling it come out. You know when it's coming out. What we do is we'll take a bucket of it, we'll pour it down a table. To my knowledge, it only has about a 15 to 20 minute lifespan.
Okay.
And we will scrub a table down with it. And this water is very silky. It's very clean. You can tell there's a difference between this and your normal water supply.
Wow.
But we'll take it. We'll clean our rooms down with it. You can run it through your irrigation lines to get any type of bacteria or anything that may have built up during the cycles. And a big part of our reset process.
Are y'all using it as a foliar or anything like that?
Yeah, so we just started experimenting with it in veg only. We've been spraying on our veg plants, just kind of getting an idea of how it works. Really, with foliaring, and I'm sure you guys, growers can agree that that's one of the things that a lot of the growers are lacking within their regimen is getting some sort of spray on their plants. So just doing that in one place or another is going to help out. But by using the Tri-Oxy, then you can kind of see a faster growth rate. And again, it kills a lot of the fungicides, things that you would use a fungicide for. So we can replace it with things like xylitol or other types of chemicals that may not be natural, sustainable throughout nature versus using something that just adds ozone to water.
Yeah, very interesting. And now, what about the whole bug thing? Is it this? We were talking about that a little bit earlier with regards to we have things that will knock down the adults. What we don't have is things that will take care of the eggs, and kill all the eggs. That's why we have to keep on applying and applying. Eileen, you're saying that this will actually destroy or poke holes, lysate the eggs? Is that right?
Well, it's called lysine, Lysing.
I was close.
And that oxidizing molecule of O1 basically blows a hole, which collapses that egg sac.
Wow.
For example, my chiropractor, he's big into 4-H. And so he's got pigs and, just about everything.
Sure.
But he started with the hose, just spraying down his pig pens every day when he would go out and slop the hogs. And it was interesting because he no longer has to put miticides on the animals because it killed the larvae of the flies. So, who ever heard of a fly-free pig? But it definitely cuts. As adults, you're going to see. So you're going to save money and time. Well, you're going to be spending the time doing a foliar feed, but at least it's a foliar feed that's actually going to help your plant accelerate the growth.
I love the idea.
With a lot of the thrift issues that we've been seeing, and I'm sure a lot of the other girls are seeing it, not sure where they're coming from or what's happening. If you can get it ahead of it and kill the eggs before the adults even start roaming, that's going to be a lot less spread that they're going to get throughout the garden.
Well, yeah, that is pretty neat. And you've seen nothing negative as far as effects on your plants, Matt, from foliar?
No. It's just like spraying water on your plant. Like there's no big issue one way or another. We haven't tried to do it with lights on yet, but there's really no kind of reason for us to do that with our supplemental lighting that we have in the room to keep the plants awake. So we can still kind of spray during the day, but
we're not looking for problems here, man,
Right. Looking for solving problems.
I like it. Yeah, I love the idea of killing them eggs. And powdery mildew spores for that matter.
So there's a study that was conducted spraying cucumbers and onions with ozonated water. You can just Google it and it'll pop up.
Nice.
And you can click on it.
Well, cucumbers, first of all, are very susceptible to powdery
because
mildew.
it killed all the mold and mildew.
Yeah.
Plants produce 40% more produce just from spraying it with ozonated water. So I'm going to be really excited to hear what Matt finds out when he really gets into that foliar spraying.
Yeah, me too. You get results like that, you better start getting your wrenches together, start assembling more units.
Yeah.
Hey, how does it work though? How ozone is just a generator? It's just, I think you were telling me a little bit about it. It just sucks up ozone and distributes it through the hose. Is basically it.
Yeah, the flow of the water creates a vacuum and then it automatically turns on the generator. That's a 5 gram per hour generator. So it's a monster. It's industrial. And it will suck that gas through the venturi, kind of like your fertilizer system might use a venturi.
Sure.
But there's 2 venturis in there. So it's quickly infusing very small bubbles of ozone gas into the water. So it just instant on demand.
And you got 15 or 20 minutes to use it after that?
It just flows out.
And 15, 20 minutes after that, that's how long it's active until the ozone dissipates?
If you use cold water, and if it doesn't have very many total dissolved solids in it, it'll last 40 minutes. But I generally tell people, use it within 20 minutes. because that way it's going to be the most potent. But
Sure.
it might be, depending on someone's water, last 45 minutes. You just don't know.
Interesting.
So I have a question.
Yes,
Does this work like a RO system where it's going to take my ppms, my water, and just completely wipe them out? So when I check it, which I haven't done yet, but if I check it, is it going to be lower than what typically comes out of the tap?
Well, like the city of Los Angeles, they ozonate and clean their drinking water. They even ozonate their sewage. If you ozonated something, like they'll ozonate sewage at 50 part per million. Remember, this is only making 2 to 3.
Sure.
And they'll ozonate sewage for hours, and it'll turn to a clear liquid. So it will definitely have effect on what's coming out of that tap. And so that would be an interesting experience because everyone's water quality is different.
Sure. And they've all got different amounts of chlorine there. That's chlorine an oxidizer, right?
There won't be any chlorine left.
It's interesting stuff. Well, Matt, I'm gonna stay tuned, man. I want to see what your results are. You've been using it for a couple months. You've been using it for as far as for cleaning.
As far as for cleaning, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to see what it does on the plants, but it's very cool. I'm always excited when I see new technology coming into our industry, and this is something I know ozone has been around for a bit. It's a really cool technology, and Eileen, nice job actually bringing this to the grower, bringing this to, I don't know what you want to say, just a smaller scale as to where you don't have to be, spending $50,000 or $80,000 on an industrial ozone machine now. So it's very cool. Is there a smaller unit? Is this the only unit for now?
Yeah, we have the Tri-Oxy Fresh. It's like 195, but in comparison, it's 400 milligram per hour.
Right.
Compared to 5 gram, that's 5,000 grams. I mean,
milligrams. Sure.
Per hour.
We all buy enough edibles.
The other one doesn't have an internal fan. You can't hook a hose to it. You have this silicone tube with a stone diffuser. And so, I mean, you can ozonate and make, a container of liquid, but it's going to take you 20 minutes and it's going to be a quarter of the concentration that you could get with the big machine.
Sure.
And the other one's not meant for industrial use. It's for your home to make a glass of ozonated water, to clean your vegetables that you're going to prepare to eat, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. All right. So this is the one we want to look at. Creatrix Solutions, Creatrix. All right. So everybody knows. This thing's very cool. I imagine you can just yell Tri-Oxy COMPLETE into your phone and get all the info. This is really cool. Very neat. I'm just getting caught up in your website. Good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, people hook it up. You can put the water supply line into it and then out of it into your washing machine so that any of the rags or things, instead of washing them with bleach now, you can, clean them with ozonated water. I've got people using them growing chickens because it kills the H1N1. I mean, last year, how many chickens did they kill? Millions in California. And it just eradicates it in seconds.
That's cool. That's very cool. All right. I'm going to stay tuned. We'll see what's going on here. But this is some really interesting technology. Hey.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks so much for supporting the DGC. I appreciate it.
Thanks for bringing this into the growing community.
Yeah, you're not our normal listener. I guess we don't have any normal listeners. I would think if I was going to draw a picture of our normal listener, he'd probably look a little bit more like Matt, but who knows?
Well, I had a grower. I don't have a video of it, but he was instrumental in encouraging me to have these features on the Tri-Oxy COMPLETE.
Nice.
And he said his canopy, the height of his canopy with all the fuller feeding was feet taller.
Wow.
It was like, and the weight of the the production was even greater. So for him, it was just like, no brainer, less neem oil, less this, less that.
Sure. Something clean. You talk about neem oil, that leaves a smell, that leaves a residue. Something that leaves no residue is extremely valuable to us growers.
Right.
All right.
And it's, you can use ozone even if you're certified organic, it's one of the things that you're allowed to use.
Yeah, no chemicals in that. Very cool. I appreciate this so much. I'm gonna check back in with Matt, and I'm gonna check back in with you, Eileen. Absolutely. A little DGC giveaway I'm feeling here, man. I'm feeling something in the future. Very cool.
Well, thanks a lot, you guys.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Some people love to play